at the age of 52, I finally became a cover girl. Oh my God. The best thing about it was actually being called down to earth and limitless. Just like a passionate potato. What a fantastic compliment. To be a passionate potato, it's actually probably the finest thing I can imagine being. A passionate potato, an earthy lump, a good, tasty, earthy lump is the perfect metaphor for my core values. And if you want to change the world, you need to start within yourself. You need to start with your own core values. You need to start with your life guidelines. And my name is Fia Gulliksson, and today I'm going to give you my recipe on how I changed my life, my community, and along the way I actually managed to build quite a few sustainable, successful companies, as long as being called a passionate potato. So here it goes, my recipe. It actually starts with 3 ingredients. You need 3 ingredients to make this recipe work. And the first ingredient is the passionate potato. And the potato actually stands for good, clean, and fair things, but I come back to that. The second ingredient is the bucket theory. And the third ingredient is to act as a CIA agent. I'll come back to the 2 last ones. So let's go on the first ingredient, the passionate potato. And why did I choose the potato? Well, I'm really fortunate to have a very special tongue. So my passion is actually tasting things. And I remember life through my tongue. My tongue is my tool. I don't remember faces or places. I remember flavors and smells. And that's how I hang up my life out of my memory. So if you work your passion as your core value, I think it's easier to get where you want to go. So this started actually as a very early age, but it's my core values. So my core values are passionate potato. And why is that a good metaphor? Well, to be a good potato, you need to taste good. And you also need to do good where you go to the body you're building. You need to be healthy, you know, no chemicals. You also need to do good where you come from the earth you sprung in, you grew in. And you need to be a fair potato. You need to pay the farmer the right amount of money for the actual potato. And you're so limitless. I mean, you can be used in so many ways. It's such a good metaphor because you have to be creative to be a potato. So it's good to be down and to earth. And I really believe being a local passionate potato is quite good because then you understand your awareness, what responsibilities you need to take, because you can see straight away your actions or your non-action, what happens. So that's why I recommend, if you're going to be a potato, be a passionate potato. And don't be a spectator. It's not a good tater. You sit on the side, watch things, you know. Or don't be a couch potato either, because that's not a good potato. Be a passionate potato. So I started shaping my core values when I became a parent, really. Or actually, I started when I started cooking, but when I became a parent, I realized, oh my God, I'm going to bring this earth back to my kids, hopefully in a better shape than I borrowed it from my parents. And how do you do that? What do I need more than being a passionate potato? Well, you need to prioritize things. And, you know, when you have 3 kids, 3 animals, I have 3 old people to take care of, also 3 companies and 1 husband. Kind of wish it was the contrary, the last 2. But when things are like that, you need to prioritize your resources, your time. And my husband didn't really agree for me to have 3 husbands, so I came up with the bucket theory. So now I'm going to teach you my bucket theory, which is the second ingredient of the recipe. So imagine your life being a bucket, or your company, or your region, and you want to fill this bucket full of potatoes, because you want to store the potatoes in here till the next spring. That's when you're going to take them out, and they're going to be fresh and hard, just as they were when you put them in the bucket. What do you need to store them here? You need pebbles and sand. The potato symbolizes your health, your economic, your environmental health. You put them in the bucket, it's totally full. But what do? You can add, between the cracks of the big potatoes, you can put in pebbles. They go in between, and they symbolize the social or the cultural aspect of your life, or your company, or your region. So they go in between the potatoes, and then you can pour the sand over. And what does the sand symbolize? The economic aspect, the money. Put that on top of there, and the bucket is totally full. It's totally packed, and the potatoes are fantastically healthy the next spring. They can store there all winter. So smart. But what happens if you don't put them in the bucket in the right order? What happens if you put the sand first? All the potatoes won't fit. They will not store till the springtime. They will rot. But the good thing, if you actually pack your bucket the way I pack it, you can always pour some champagne on top of it. And the champagne, that for me symbolizes a very important aspect in the recipe. It symbolizes trust, responsibility, and respect. You need those three key words to make your theory work. And for me, it worked really well with my family, with my companies, to have only these two ingredients in the recipe. And I started lifting my eyes after the third child, and I started looking around where I live in this beautiful region called Jämtland. And we have 17,000 lakes, and I'm so fortunate to live by a lake, and I can drink the water in it. But what happens in the future with our 17,000 lakes if we don't have a high awareness around it, if we don't live like passionate potatoes, or if we don't live by the bucket theory? I also saw that we had amazing land. We had 65 to 70% of the farmed land in our region was managed and cultivated in an organic manner. Not just because the farmers had high awareness, but they don't need to spray up here yet. We're so fortunate. But what kind of actions do we take to make sure that these land and these waters will be saved for our future generations? Couldn't really see that, actually. And I also see some fantastic artisan food producers and some enormously famous and amazing chefs in the region that manage to kind of talk about exactly what I'm talking about, the bucket theory and the passionate potato theory and the ingredient. But we needed actions on the political level, on all the stakeholders in our community need to think this way, so to be able to give back this earth, in a better shape. And that's when I came up with the third ingredient. CIA, be a CIA agent. Create, imagine, act. Challenge, innovate, agitate. Collaborate, implement, assist. You need courage, intelligence, and awareness. And you need to celebrate, inspire others, and you need to affiliate. That's when things started happening. So I decided that why is also a potato a really good thing to be if you're a CIA agent? Well, a potato always keeps his eyes peeled. And I thought, oh my God, what are we going to do with my region? It seems like the politicians didn't really take actions, responsibility actions for this. They weren't aware of what we were sitting on, the green gold. So what do you do as a normal citizen? We put it in a proposal that maybe, please, can we apply to Creative Cities Network? Because this network actually works as passionate potatoes and by the bucket theory. And they are CIA agents. So I thought, oh my God, if my town wants to become a creative city of gastronomy, if people from the outside tell you you're really good at what you're doing, then maybe it gets inside you and people start living by these core values. So a lot of people helped, and we collaborated. We all acted CIA agents, and 2010, we were appointed as the third creative city in the world in this fantastic network that now have about 42 cities in the network, and there are more than 60 cities in the pipe wanting to get in. And I think because of this title, because of the amazing work of all the artisan food producers, and of course because of the famous chef we have, or chefs, we actually gained 40% of Sweden's global press coverage when it comes to creativity around gastronomy, which is amazing. So, as a passionate potato and a restless entrepreneur, I decided, my God, I mean, things move a bit slow. The other chefs in town don't really understand what kind of green gold we sit on. So I decided that we need some action here. I told them, you know, put some local food on the tables, but they didn't really. So sometimes passion can be frustration as well. And I think sometimes passion is not just something you love. It's also, if you're angry or frustrated about something, then you can challenge. You can become the CIA agent. So I decided, okay, let's start to do this as a collective or collaboration restaurant. We can show them the passionate potato, we can show them the bucket theory, and we can show them how we are CIA agents. And I found these amazing creative people to collaborate with me, and 3 of us started the restaurant. And it's a collective restaurant where we work as passionate potatoes. We build green and local economy because 100% of what we put on the table is either local and or organic. We build social economy because we decided the people that work with us, we want diversity. We think it's so important when you do something. If you're going to build a sustainable business, diversity, equal gender, and we're all different age groups, from 15 to 67. And this really helps because you attract people also to your company that share the same core values. And most of our staff actually don't work full-time. They work approximately 80% because they love skiing, painting, music, fishing. They're out there living in this fantastic region, bringing in so much creativity. And we're having quite a lot of fun, and we're being quite crazy at work as well. And I think that contributes to the good feeling of the company. And at our place, generations can meet. How many places in our society today actually we can meet young kids and old people in the same room? Not many. And I think we need those, because to get there, to change things, we need to be together. And it actually spells, to get there spells together, so. We put money into culture instead of putting into advertisement. We thought it's more sustainable, because when you do that, people start talking about you. We've had 200 cultural events in less than 2 years. And the good thing about it, here comes the sand. If you work this way, you will gain a profit. We started off with small money. We started off with 100,000 crowns, which is like, I don't know, 13, 14,000 US dollars. Today we make a turnover of nearly 12 million Swedish crowns, which is approximately 1.8 American dollars, I think. So we make a profit, and we make real gains. And I'm so proud. After 2 years, together with the team, we managed to become Sweden's #1 sustainable restaurant. Oh, thank you. Anyway, here's the recipe. Just be a passionate potato, walk your talk, set your core values, and vision the goal. Imagine where you want to be after 2 years, after 5 years, after 10 years. And then you find your people that share your core values, that share your enthusiasm about changing your place, your community. And you have to be proactive, a proactive, passionate potato. That's how you get forward. And live the bucket theory. And don't forget trust, responsibility, and respect. These are the real gains and the real values in the company. And I totally believe in the future you're a boiled potato, a smashed potato, if you don't think about these things. And last of all, to get there, you can't normally use the normal roads or the normal ways or the normal acts. You have to be a CIA agent. You have to create, imagine, act. You have to collaborate and celebrate. And you have to have a lot of courage. But you will get there. And I always had this fantastic saying in my heart, and I always try to live by it: be the change you want to see in the world. But now, at 52, I thought, oh my God, it's time that me, Fia Gulliksson, had her own saying. So my saying is, be a passionate potato, and you can change the world. Thank you!